Welcome to the Michael Singer podcast, presented by Sounds True, in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information about Michael Singer's work, access to all prior episodes, and information about upcoming releases, we invite you to join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com.
Jagged of Jai Masters. The spiritual journey is by far the most exciting thing that could possibly happen in your life. Why? It's not that you set a goal. People do that, and it's good. It's not great, but it's good. And you try to achieve it. During those efforts, there's this sense of excitement, the sense of Shakti, the sense of enthusiasm that you might reach your goal. That's what goal orientation is. And again, I don't like talking to you at this level because they teach you to have goal orientation. I don't teach you that, but it's fine to have it. You will go through many different stages in your life. Some of them, as I said earlier, are I don't want to suffer. I don't want to feel depressed. I don't want to feel left out. I don't want to hurt. Well, that, believe it or not, is an attempt at positive. It's more positive than negative. I'm doing better. I think I'll make it. Okay, this person was nice to me today. Maybe this is going to be okay, right? That is where most people live. And the ones who claim to be most successful, especially wealthy and powerful people, are always running away from themselves. You don't see it. They're running away from themselves. They can't handle that they've set a goal and they meet it. They're really powerful. They do it every day. They meet their goals. People have to be the way they want them to be. They have the money to do so. They have the power to do so. It's no fun. You think it's fun. It's not fun to get your way. Why? Because then you have to set another goal. You have to keep setting things that keep you inspired and trying to say, this will make me be okay. And that's why rich and powerful people are always doing something. You think that's neat to have money and power and I can always get my way. It's depressing. No, seriously, all right? Because it's never taken care of. There always has to be something bigger. There has to be something better. Like, look at the billionaires today. I mean, now they're getting to close to trillionaires, right? Nobody in the world needs that kind of money, right? But they do. And they feel bad if they're not number one on the hit parade. You can't imagine how much suffering goes on deep inside of a rich and powerful person. That's what Christ meant when he said, sooner the camel should pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man should enter heaven. There's nothing wrong with having money. The trouble is you use it to build yourself up, to build ego, to build, I'm better than somebody else. If you're not better than somebody else, and somebody's number two, and you were number one last time, you don't feel good, all right? I'm not talking against money, I'm not talking against power, but understand they suffer because they have to keep running. It always has to get better. There has to be a goal. Otherwise, what do you do with yourself? So you have to set, and the goals aren't always nice. It might be nice to other people, whatever it is, but there has to be a goal. So goal orientation is a way of life. Fine. Someday you'll find out, and maybe lifetimes from now, that it doesn't do anything. Like goal orientation means, what does it mean? I'm not okay, and I have a goal that if I reach it, it will make me be okay. It will make me feel better. There's a chance. God forbid you should reach it. Now you have to set another one, and set another one, and set another one. You have to keep running. You think you're running towards something. You're not. You're running away from something. And you're running as fast as you can. What are you running away from? Me. I'm in here, but I don't recognize that. I don't have any idea who I am. I just know that some things make me feel better, and some things make me feel worse. Can you relate to that? Do you understand that? It's very easy to understand that. Some things make me feel better. Some things make me feel worse. And we just sit there and say, those who make me feel better are good. Those who make me feel worse are bad. Right? Well, you'll find out someday it's not true as you go deeper in your spiritual journey. But right now, people are satisfied to live that life. I can be goal-oriented. I can track to myself. I can attract to myself that which makes me feel better. None of you want to attract to yourself that which makes you feel bad. Have you noticed that? Right? We all have a law of attraction, and every one of you want to attract the one that makes you feel better. And none of you want to attract the one that makes you feel bad. How you doing with it? You're going to find out you don't even know what you want. You just know you're still running. You're running towards something, okay? But you're not. You're running away from something. You're running away from the fact that you're not okay at the depth of your being. We'll talk about when it's said and done. What does it mean to be okay? I didn't even know you want to know. That's how high it is. It's unconditional well-being. You don't need anything. You don't want anything. You're not looking for anything. Ram Dass said it's becoming nobody. People can't relate to that. Why would I want to be nobody? Believe me, you want to be nobody. But not the nobody that I'm no good. Oh my God, I'm no good. I'm nobody. No. You've emptied out your inside. And what's left there is ecstasy. What's left there is total unconditional well-being. It's not goal orientation. Okay? So we've laid down the beginning of it's not the beginning of the path is depression. People kill themselves. People go through all kinds of things, right? Because they're not okay. Why would you kill yourself? Why would you be depressed? Inside is not okay. So at least you reach a point where you have some goals, you have something that thinks, if I get this, I'm going to be okay. It's always, I'm going to be okay. I'll work for this. I can achieve this. It's all about achieving and getting and doing. All right. Well, that's an early part of the path. And you can do well with that, at least relatively, in the sense that you can keep some Shakti flowing as long as you're getting what you want, even if you're not getting it. Some people want to work hard to get what they want. I don't mind have to work hard. That's wonderful. But you still are not okay. And you see a goal, you see an aspiration that's giving you Shakti of going forward. And there's nothing wrong with any stage in this path. Do you understand that? You'll go through all kinds of stages. My job is to let you understand in front of yourself, right? That people often come years later and say, I didn't understand at all what you're talking about, but then I went through this and went through this and went through this. I now see. If it can help you at all on your journey, that's what a spiritual teacher, that's her job, okay? But not to set a goal and then have you try to achieve it. It's higher than that. All right, so basically what happens? So if you're lucky and you're positive and you're working on yourself, you get a flow of energy that's goal-oriented, and it turns you on, and that's beautiful, okay? It will not last. It's not supposed to. Why? You're not living off God. You're not living off the depth of your inside. You're living off goal orientation. You see the difference? So let's go deeper. What happens? At some point, I talked about this the other day, there's Shakti that is not worth getting. It doesn't lead anywhere. It's a short-term thing. We all have that, don't we? I don't ever talk about it, but second chakra is very good with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But have you noticed how easy it is to change the Shakti when you're playing around with some energies? And ego does the same thing. Ego can absolutely get your Shakti flowing. So basically you get to the point where you realize what is a higher form of Shakti. And you start looking inside and realizing that what it's about is not the high Shakti. It's about why you're not feeling it. Not what do you need to get in order to feel enthused. What do you need to get in order to feel inspired? What do you need to get in order to really just how about being turned on for the rest of your life? There. Want goal orientation? Unconditional well-being every single second, every moment of your life. Who wants that? You don't understand you're capable of that. That's who you are. That is your natural state. The problem is, I always get there. The first thing you do is you talk about high, but then you start talking about, wait a minute, why am I not there? Why do I not feel completely inspired for no reason? I woke up in the morning and I brushed my teeth, and I had breakfast, and this car started. Every single moment is the same as every other moment. That's what Be Here Now is. That's what the deep teachings are. You're turned on all the time. Well, why don't I feel that? Because you're blocked. Okay, now we're getting down to walking the spiritual path. Why am I blocked? I've done this with you 1,000 times. I'll do it 1,001, right? Because what matters is not how to get high. Why are you not high? I'm saying right now, you're the highest being ever walked the face of the earth. Don't you feel it? No. Why? Why don't you feel it? Because I'm telling you, the highest being ever walked the face of the earth. Period. Right now. Why don't I feel it? Why? We'll do it short course, because over the course of your life, you have had experiences which the strong ones were not comfortable to you. What did you do with those experiences? You stored them. Why? You weren't able to handle the experience. How's that? Somebody said something mean to you. Somebody hurt you. Your parents got divorced. Who the heck knows how many experiences could hurt you? How many experiences can be uncomfortable? There's many stars in the sky. And when you have those experiences, you're not evolved inside to be able to handle them in a proper fashion. How should I be handling them? Let them go. Why do you want to store bad experiences? Do you store bad experiences? Everybody stores bad experiences. That's what suppression is, repression, denial, resistance. Have you ever resisted an experience? Somebody says something to you and hurts you. What do you do with it? Does it come back tomorrow? Can it come back a year from now? Can you see the person again and stimulate it again? Then you stored it. Otherwise, it's not there. If it's still there after the moment went by, you stored it. Otherwise, it's not there. The rain's not there. The clouds are not there. The white lines on the road are not there. There's billions and billions and billions of things that are not there. But the ones you stored are. Okay, why'd you store them? Because they hurt. You protected yourself. You defended yourself. People talk about boundaries. What is a boundary? Something I couldn't handle and I ain't dealing with that. You're not going there, baby. That's my boundary. If you have boundaries, you're resisting. Boundaries mean I couldn't handle the experience. I'm not saying it's wrong. We can talk about that. But it means I have a boundary. Where? Where? Inside? There's nothing inside. Inside's empty. The Buddhist void. There's nothing inside. I say, but you store it. Let's do that. I see we have to do that. There's nothing inside of you but what you stored there. You had experiences. You remembered them. You brought them back. You want them to happen again. Man is the sum of his learned experiences. You're not. You're the consciousness that's aware of the sum of learned experiences. You're the indwelling consciousness that is aware that you have trouble with your mind, that you have trouble with your heart, that you get excited about things. You're a conscious being. But unfortunately, we can't handle the experience we're having. That's what it means to grow spiritually, by the way. That's what it means. That I can handle every single experience that ever happened to me. That's an enlightened being. It is not stored inside. It maybe was painful. I handled it. Maybe I didn't handle it right away, but years later, okay, fine. I'm okay. There's no problem. Fine. You were mean to me. Okay. You want to know historic experiences? Go back to your high school reunion. Go back to your high school 20-year reunion and see how you feel about every single person that's there right now and whether they bring back your stuff. You stored the experiences. You do not have to store these experiences. They happen, they pass through like clouds in the sky, and you're a very evolved being who's always okay because you didn't store the garbage inside of you. If you store garbage inside of you, it's going to be garbage in there. Yes, you can learn to be positive. Fine. Why do you need to learn to be positive? Because otherwise it's negative. So spirituality is about waking up that this is the problem. The problem is not that you don't have a goal or have this or that. The problem is that you stored this stuff inside and now you're blocked. And if you're blocked, the energy can't flow. But if you get something you want, the energy flows. If you dream of something and the dream comes true, how long does it last? Have you ever gotten what you want? Have you ever, at least one time in your life, did you get what you want? How long will it last? Never need anything else, right? It's over. I got married. Oh boy, it's finished. Wake up. It's all goal orientation. I am not okay. Be honest. I'm not okay deep inside, but I'm trying to be okay. I've found ways to get the Shakti flowing different times, different ways, right? I prefer that you don't live like that. I would love you to be in ecstasy all the time, every moment of every second of your life. When you're born, you go through these experiences in your life, you die, you go, whoopee, that was fun. You hear me? But the net result is, it is because you stored this stuff inside that you're not okay. Otherwise, you are okay. That's what it means to cleanse spiritually. You live your life. You go through what you need to go through, but you go through it. You don't store it. That's the highest thing. No matter what it is, a divorce, a death, a this, a that, a bad experience, somebody dissing you, right? Front line, headline in a newspaper, telling terrible lies about you. Okay? Can you handle it? Can you handle it? Or do you want to store that inside of you and have it bother you for the rest of your life? I ask you, who wants to store that inside of them and have them bother for the rest of their life? Why is that an intelligent thing to do? It's just nobody taught you don't have to. That stuff should not be stored inside. It was not meant to be stored inside. It was meant to be experiences, learning experiences that you go through. Some of them are pleasant, some of them are not, but you learn from everything. You're learning how to play tennis. You hit the ball into the net. Fine. Keep playing. You'll get better. That's what life's about. You're going to have experiences. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're supposed to do. But ultimately, your goal, if there be such a thing, is I want to be able to handle every single experience I ever had, ever have, or ever will have. If I were doing a retreat with you, I'd make you say that. I want to be able to handle every experience I've ever had, I am having, or I'm going to have. Now you're talking about the spiritual path. That is a spiritual path. So it's not about getting what you want or avoiding what you don't want or believing in this or that. It's in here. You live in here, and experiences are coming at you. Are they not? Every moment of your life, experiences are coming at you. Can you handle them? By the way, what does handle them mean? They pass through. Handle them doesn't mean I'm handling this. No, it doesn't mean grabbing onto it. Handling means I am open enough, clear enough, high enough, call it whatever you want, to where this experience is able to pass through me and does not have to stay inside of me. That's where you're going. That's spirituality. That's what a master is. That's what an enlightened being is. An enlightened being is a being that every single experience passes through. It passes through. Well, what if I need to remember something? Nobody said you don't have a memory. You bring it back when you want to bring it back. But it doesn't haunt you. It doesn't come back by itself. It's not this subconscious garbage that you stored inside, or fears and anxieties and all the different stuff that we all have. It means being open enough to where it all flows through, it all passes through. So how does one get that way? First, they understand that that is the spiritual path. It's not about getting what you want. Freedom is not about getting for yourself. It's about getting rid of yourself, freedom from yourself. If you didn't have all that garbage going on inside, you would be wonderful, wouldn't you? How would you like to wake up in the morning and all of a sudden it's gone? There's no fears. What are you afraid of? What do you mean no fears? Psychological fears I'm talking about, all right? What are psychological fears? I might not get what I want. I might have to get what I don't want. What are the fears there? If you look at your fears, that's what you're going to see. There are things that I need, I might not get them. There are things I don't want, and I might get them. There, now you're in there being afraid and trying to control everything to try and make it be the way you need it to be. I don't want you to live like that. You're a great being. You don't have to live like that. So I like to imagine you wake up in the morning and it's so exciting. And none of that is there at all. None. It's completely clean. So what happens? The moments unfold and they pass through. You work with them. It's not that you don't interact with the world. Of course you interact with the world. But you don't interact with the world out of your inner stuff. And that's what we're doing now. I have preferences and hopes and dreams and concepts and views and opinions and likes and dislikes, don't I? All of that is you stored. Every single like and dislike and preference and hope and dream, every one of those things is based upon the stuff you've already stored inside. Do you know that? I want to know. Do you know that? Even psychology teaches you that. They say man is the sum of his learned experiences. So you picked up all these experiences and did what? You stored them. And so now you say, that's who I am. I'm the person who likes this, and the person who doesn't like this, and the person who believes in this, the person who doesn't believe in that, and the person who likes to be treated this way and don't like to be treated that way. You are not. You're God descended. You're pure consciousness, experiencing what it's like to be stuck in a human. But you don't have to be stuck in a human. You don't have to stare at those thoughts and those emotions and have them freak you out and be afraid. People are afraid of themselves. You understand that? I'm afraid of what might happen to me tomorrow. Somebody might treat me nicely and not. Things might happen that bother me. I want you to be free of all of that. Do you know you're capable of being completely free? I don't care what you've been through. I don't care what scars you have inside. You say you have scars. Do you have scars inside? Have you had experiences inside that left marks on you that keep coming back up? Okay? There are no scars inside. You have used your will to stop these experiences and store them inside. And they were not nice experiences. Therefore, they show up as scars. They show up as problems that I have. And then I work on trying to get rid of them and try to get situations better for myself. Are you tired yet? It's exhausting. to go through every single day trying to get what you want, avoid what you don't want, and make sure everything, right? So spirituality is at least sitting there saying, I don't want to live like that. Do I have to live like that? And the answer is no. Of course you don't have to live like that. Why? You did it. You're the one that held that stuff inside. Did you not? When things happen you don't like, do you push them away? Do you resist it? Can you feel yourself stopping the energy from coming in? You just get to the point where I'm going to learn not to do that. All right. So the first stage of your spiritual growth is pretty negative. Second stage of your spiritual growth is, oh, I did this. I used to ask a question to you guys. If you store every single thing that ever bothered you throughout your life inside of you, what's it going to be like inside? Bothered. You can try to make it nicer, but there's this constant fear, there's constant anxiety, there's a constant sense that something's going to go wrong and I won't get what I want and blah, blah, blah. Okay? You have to decide, I don't want to live like that. So like I said, it's not a matter of compensating for the problems you have, but letting them be nicer outside. If I have money, I can travel. Fine. If I have a good relationship that's really nice to me and doesn't slurp their soup and is always kind and I have a mood wheel on my door so I can tell what moods I'm in so people treat me the way I want to be treated. Wow, that's exhausting. That's ridiculous. How would you rather be? I am an open being. Bring what is. I will handle it perfectly fine. It will come in and I'll learn from it. I'll grow from it. Every situation in your life is a learning experience, isn't it? So somebody died. Your parents died. It's sad. Did you handle it? Did you learn how to handle it? Are you better at handling death because you went through one? Or if you've never, ever experienced the death of a loved one? It's a learning experience. Doesn't mean you're giddy. It just means you're willing to go through the experience without resistance, without sitting there saying, no, I don't want this to happen. Well, it did happen, but I don't want it to. Too bad. What kind of silly statement is that? I don't want it to rain today. I don't want it to rain on my birthday. You're just causing trouble for yourself. So you get to the point where you say, okay, I'm going to work with this. But then it's important, this thing about situations will happen outside that are not pleasant. Don't they? Can you handle it? Not can you stop it from happening. You're never going to stop yin and yang from happening. There's going to be positive and negative, dark and light, sick and health, birth and death. It's just the universe is built that way. There's the law of the opposites. Everything happens. Is that wrong? No, it's not wrong. But what do I do with it? Honor it, respect it, come into it with a sense of openness that says, I can handle anything. Even if you can't, I can handle anything. Why? You grow. If you sit there and say, I can't handle this, you resist it and you push it away and you suppress it. And that is not spiritual. So you just get to the point where you realize, I have work to do inside. My work is inside. How? I'm not going to store more of this stuff anymore. I always get to this point. That's the first step. First step is, I don't want to store. Do you want to store more in there? You want more scars? You want more problems later in your life because somebody didn't treat you the way you want to be treated or anything like that? Or you want to be able to shake it off? Really shake it off, not suppress it. It does not have to be in there. It's not about coping or tolerating. It's about letting go. If I'm resisting it, it's going to leave marks. If I don't resist it, it passes right through. Whatever I go through, if I don't use my will to push it away and manipulate and control it, you're going to find out it goes through. So you start doing that during your life. You take small little things that now you resist and you sit there and say, I'm not going to resist them anymore. Why? For the same reason I get better at tennis every time I hit the ball. Every single time you play the piano, you get better. Doesn't mean you're a concert pianist, right? You start practicing being okay. Look at me. Why not? Do you want to be okay? Do you want to be clear? Do you want to be high? Do you want to feel love? Then practice. Practice doing that. And that's what you end up doing. Every moment of your life, you take a look and say, can I handle this? And then the small things, like when it rains out or somebody says something you don't like or somebody's in a bad mood and they didn't treat you exactly the way they want to be treated, right? Can you handle, look right in your eyes, can you handle it? Come on. You don't want to. Why don't you want to? Because it doesn't feel good. There are vibrations in this world that don't feel good. Rattlesnakes rattling in front of you don't feel good. That's not the point. Can you handle not feeling good? Can you handle the energy that doesn't feel good? Or do you have to manipulate everything in your life so you never have a feeling that doesn't feel right? Because you've never succeeded at that, have you? There's all these things come in. So it's not sufficient to say, I can manipulate this. I can control life. They can. You can go there, and I did, move out to the woods, okay? And think that you can control life so it doesn't bother you. I had it down to almost nothing. I was meditating 6 hours a day, living in a hut in the middle of the woods. Nobody's out here, right? And a dog would be barking in the distance. I think I hear it, and it would bother me. You're not getting away from life, nor do you want to. What you want to do is learn to handle things. What things? Everything. Well, I'm not ready for that. Okay, you're not ready yet. Just sit there and say, I'm going to practice. This is what I want of you. I'm going to practice every day of my life to do better at handling things. That's all you can do. I'm going to do the best I can. That's what it means to be conscious. I'm in here, I'm conscious, and I have issues. I don't want to have issues. Every single experience you have had throughout your life was your teacher. Birth was your teacher, death was your teacher, sickness was your teacher, somebody yelling at you was your teacher, getting divorced is your teacher. Every single thing that takes place in your life, you can learn from. You can learn from it. Can you have a nice divorce? Most people can't. Some people can. Which would you rather do? Have an ugly divorce after you lived together for years and then basically mess everything up? Or, okay, didn't work out. We tried. We can be friends, love each other. You can do anything you want because you're in there. It's your life. But you have to learn to handle the experiences that are happening to you. And so what you do is little by little, that's what I want you to do. Here's your spiritual path. Ready? Yeah, you can meditate. You can do mantra, do everything, right? But on an everyday basis, remember that the experiences you're having should be digestible, that they can make it through. I don't want to store these things in here and have to ruin my life. And they do that. So you start working with them little by little. You have experiences during the day, and you sit there and say, fine, I can handle that. Well, what happens if something happens I can't handle? You'll know. You'll fall. You'll get upset. You'll throw pots and pans. Who the heck knows? You have hatred thoughts. It'll get messy. Okay, fine. What do? People always ask, what do I do? What if I fall? What if it doesn't work out? You get back up as soon as possible. This is spiritual life. You get back up as soon as possible. The moment you see, okay, I got lost, I fell down, do not judge yourself. Do not feel guilty. If I hit the ball into the net, I don't feel guilty. I'm learning. So if you're trying the best you can and you fall down, get back up. Just get back up and don't judge yourself. And what's going to happen, I always teach this, stay up as long as you can and come back as soon as you can. These are deep teachings. Just, I don't care if it's 3 seconds longer. You held the anger down or you held the hurt down. Right? Just, oh, come on. And then when you start to get clear, it'll get clear again. All right? It starts to get clear. Do it as soon as possible. And no judgment, no anything. And what will happen, that gap will get smaller and smaller. Period. Just like practicing the piano. You practice it, you're going to get better. You practice life, you're going to get better. This is the spiritual path. That is why you took birth on earth. That is why you're going through every single experience you're going through to learn, to grow. And you just start taking an attitude instead of the attitude, I'm okay as long as I get what I want. But you don't get what you want. No, it's not okay, right? You just sit there and say, get up in the morning and say what? I am going to be fine today. No matter what happens, it's going to be fun. I'll deal with it, but it's a sport. It's fun. In India, they have a name for God's dance. It's called God's Leela. Ever heard that word? God's Leela. It's sometimes translated as God's dance, and what I like, God's sport. You're playing. You've come here to get better. You've come here to practice. And you just keep working with it. If you do that, you will get better. You will always get better every single day if you do what I'm telling you about. If you do your best each day to let go, just let it go. Just, I can handle it. The driver in front of me is tailgating me. It's freaking me out. And he's gone in 3 blocks. Did I freak out? No, I didn't. Wow. I used to freak out over that. Just keep working with yourself. Keep raising yourself. And then ultimately you get to the next phase. What's that? I always tell you this. It's neat to know that there are some automatic phases that happen. It's not just all this intense work. It is at first. Why? Because it's a mess in there, okay? It's like you've suppressed all this stuff throughout your life, right? You start working with yourself to raise your thoughts, raise yourself, okay? And then eventually you realize, okay, I got some big stuff down there. Will it come up? People always ask me, do I have to go down there and get it? I love when they ask me that. Of course not. It's going to come up by itself, isn't it? Have you noticed it comes up by itself? All you have to do is handle it when it comes up. Well, how do I know which one to handle? The one that's coming up. You do not have to do anything more than that. Just handle the one that's coming up. How? Let it go. All right, what does letting go mean? What does it mean to let go? Ready? And you can understand this. You have to be some meditator. Events have energy. It's not just what happened outside, it's what happens inside. They come inside, don't they? Events that happen outside come inside. They touch your heart. They touch your mind. Okay? They have energy, vibrations. They come in, and you will have a tendency to resist. Sometimes the tendency is so prevalent, you don't even know you're doing it. You're just always protecting yourself, always pushing away, always watching with somebody else. Watch their body language. Watch what they said. What do they mean by that? Every single thought like that is protection. I'm protecting myself, okay? And so you get to the point where you catch on and you see the energy's coming in and I'm about to protect myself. Don't. Whoa. What do you mean? It's such a natural tendency. Nothing's hurting you. Nobody's hitting you. Somebody says something that you don't like. So what? It comes and goes. Believe me, they won't remember tomorrow. You remember tomorrow. You think that every single thing that ever bothered you, everyone knows they bothered you. They don't know anything. They were in their own mood, in their own way. It's oh my God. Check his body language. I have a stomach ache. I'm not covering my third chakra. I just don't feel good. And you just catch on. Why am I doing that? Why do I care with somebody's body language? Is there body language? Sure, there's body language. Why do I care? Why do I bother myself with that? You're protecting yourself. That whole thing is about, can I read you and know what you're really thinking? I don't care what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Garbage. Right or wrong. I know what you're thinking. It depends on what you had for pizza last night. That's what you're thinking now. Okay, I'm in a bad mood. Do people get in moods? Do you care that everybody's got moods? Everybody's got moods. I have enough trouble myself. I don't need to know. And you're going to find out it works out just fine. Boy, am I glad we're talking about this. Not that it works out just fine. It works out 1,000 times better. Why? If you sit there and try to read somebody, why are you doing that? To protect myself. The only reason I'm doing that is to protect myself from you. Well, the vast majority of the time you're reading something, you're reading you. You're reading your fears, your anxieties, your self-consciousness, every single thing like that. That's what's going on inside of you, so that's what it looks like is going on inside of them. The vast majority of the time that you think you know what somebody's doing, you do not. I used to play. Back when I was first growing, back when I moved out here, I did crazy things to try and get free. Didn't work, but it was fun. It was different. I would walk up to total strangers and ask them something. I was getting into a bus, and I bumped into somebody. I was getting into the bus. I walked up to them when they sat down and said, "Did it bother you that I bumped into you?" And the person said, "I didn't see you bump into me." Every single time. They had no idea what was going on inside my mind. It was going inside my mind, not theirs. You're going to find out you are living in the shell of your own thoughts and your own emotions. So if something went wrong in your life yesterday, it looks like it's happening today. It looks like everybody's, it's the whole bank robbery thing. You go in to rob a bank. When you come out, you're paranoid. You think everybody's looking at you. Probably no one's looking at you. Imagine if you could live like that, free, instead of doing all that garbage. And so you start to work with yourself in the way I'm talking about, which is you understand I have a problem with my, do you have a problem with your mind? Does anyone have a problem with their mind? It doesn't always say nice things, does it? Why? Because of the stuff you store down there. It doesn't always think highly of yourself. It doesn't always think you succeeded. It doesn't always think you impress people. It's like it's constant mental junk going on in there because the stuff you stored. Like I said, I don't want you living like that. I care about you. You do not have to live like that. How? You start this thing I call letting go. So the energy comes in. It doesn't feel good. I'm telling you, please watch. The tendency is to push it away. I don't want to experience this. I don't have to put up with this. I don't like what you said. I don't like the weather, even the weather. I don't like this rain. It has to be raining on my birthday. And you start watching this tendency to resist, to use your will to push things away. Letting go means not to do that. What do you mean? It means there's a part of your being that's doing the pushing. When you suppress, who's suppressing? Freud talks about suppression. Yes, I know there's all this negative energy and garbage you put down there. Who put it down there? What force pushed this down there so it stays down there? You did. Your will. You're the only one in there. That's all that's in there is you. Then why are you making such a mess? Because you can't handle the vibration. You can't handle what this feels like. So it comes in, you will feel that, I'm begging you, you will feel the tendency to resist. What does it mean to not? Relax. That's what I found. When you feel the tendency to resist, relax. Just relax. What does that mean, relax? Why would I relax? It's not comfortable. You in there, relax. Don't fight it. Just someday you'll learn how to do it. You'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. I'm feeling a tendency to resist. What do? Relax. No, it's going to come closer. The relaxing doesn't let me resist. Relaxation is the opposite of resistance. Inside, relaxation is the opposite of resistance. Asanas teach you that, don't they? Right? Relax into it. Massage, relax into it. Well, try relaxing inside when you feel the tendency to close, to resist. Relax. And what you're going to find out, first you can't do it. It's hard. You don't want to do it. I want to protect myself. I don't want to feel what you just said. I don't want it coming in here. I don't like it. I don't even want it to rain. I don't want it to be hot. I don't want the driver in front of me to drive 10 miles an hour below the speed limit. There's all these things that you resist. They get stuck inside of you. They cause bad energy. So you learn when it comes in to say, relax, relax. My teaching is, it will say to you, anger can't relax. I feel angry. I can't relax. The anger shouldn't relax. You relax. You who's resisting. It's all about resistance. It's all about resistance. If you're not resisting, literally, if you're not resisting, you're enlightened. That's the empty state. It just all comes in and passes through. But you are resisting. So the practice becomes, how do I practice not resisting? Nothing in particular, just the energy as it comes in, the tendencies to resist. In my life, I learned, if you don't resist, it passes through. Why? You're the one who's stopping it. You're the one that's creating the energy that pushes it back down. So you choose to resist. Now, when you push it away, it stays stored inside. That's all you need to know. If you resist, it's going to stay in there, either big or small or whatever. And sometimes it'll stay in your entire life. Things happen in your formative years when you're young, and now you don't like the color blue because something happened. So if you don't resist and you do a little practice, relaxing, letting go, you can let go of anger. You can feel anger start to come up inside of you. I can't believe you just said that, right? Relax. How can I relax? By not resisting. Relaxation means non-resistance. Are you willing to be in there when this energy comes in and practice non-resistance? You just let it come in and pass through. All right. Did anybody listen to that at all? Do you know you're capable of doing this? Or do you think, no, I'm not capable of this? You're not capable of big things, but you're capable of the normal everyday life, and you start letting go of those, and what happens? You get better. That's where I want to go. You get better at it. Better at what? Non-resistance. Non-resistance. People say, I mean non-resistance outside. No. Non-resistance inside. You're not resisting what's coming up inside of you. It's disturbing. It doesn't feel good, but I've learned to let go. And when you learn to let go, it doesn't stay inside. That's all I want to teach you. That's the essence of my teachings. If you let it go, it doesn't stay inside. Then what happens? Don't worry about it. Once you've let go, life happens. Believe it or not, when you let go of yourself, which means resistance, when you let go of protecting, wanting, desiring, fearing, and that stuff, you're just letting it go, you come in harmony with life. People talk about being in harmony with life. I wish they knew what they were talking about. The great masters teach, man minus mind equals God. For that minus mind part, kind of not so easy, is it? If you're not in there resisting, there's nothing out there but God. You don't know it. You don't think like that. You don't say, I'm doing God's work. You just let go of yourself. Christ said you must die to be reborn. And you hear the teachings? That's what he's talking about. because it'll kill you. Non-resistance, that's a serious path. So it comes in and it just feels like, of course I'm going to resist this. Don't. Let go. First let go. And what's going to happen, you find it easier and easier, and then something really magic happens. Not because you're getting what you want or excited about something, but all of a sudden behind you, not behind the energy, and not in the process of letting go, behind you, and you didn't know there was a behind you. Why? Because you're very busy dealing in front of you. Do you understand? You're always dealing in front of you. There's a behind you. There's a top and everywhere, the whole universe around you, right? You just have this little fishbowl on, and it looks like I'm inside of that. You're not inside of that. And all of a sudden you start feeling this energy coming from inside. Not because you're getting what you want or excited. It's much deeper than that. And it starts flowing inside of you. And the more you let go, and I'm talking about letting go means, are you willing to let go of the discomfort that comes in of either not getting what you want or getting what you don't want? And you just keep letting go. You just keep letting go. For how long? Forever. Non-resistance is spirituality. Non-inner resistance. When there's no resistance, that's empty mind. That's all of a sudden, all the Shakti starts flowing inside of you, and you start feeling this tremendous joy. Why? Because you're free. You feel the joy of your being, the joy of self, not the joy of ego, not the joy of getting what you want, just the joy of liberation. That's what liberation is. You freed yourself from yourself. But it doesn't happen if you're resisting. It doesn't happen if you're grabbing and clinging. So you practice deep spirituality. So I always give this the talk. People always say to me, you give the same talk. Well, you all seem to come back. Well, you need to hear it. It is about non-resistance. That's what it's about. The essence of spirituality is this energy is going to come in, isn't it? It comes in and it hits your heart and hits your mind. And your mind starts thinking. It could think positive. It could think negative. I couldn't care less. It starts thinking. It comes up with these ideas and concepts and views and opinions and hopes and dreams and all kinds of stuff, doesn't it? And it doesn't ever stop, okay? The man minus mind equals God. That means that stuff's not going on in there. How? You're letting it go. You let go. You don't resist. You let it go. But why would I let it go? Because there's always something higher. It's always higher. You used to talk about an elevator going up. You just keep going up. Then what? You just keep going up. But where do you get off? You don't. That's what nirvana is. That's what different states are. Because you never give off. But then how does life happen? It just manages to do it. That's why I wrote the surrender experiment. It's just when you let go of you, life happens. While you're busy doing you, then you happen. But there's nothing wrong with that. You need to go through what you need to go through. How do I know if I need to go through it or if I should be letting it go? There's no choice. You're gone. You go through what you need to go through. It looks like this is what's supposed to be happening. It always looks like that. Or this is not supposed to be happening. And the next thing you know, you're interacting with the world. Otherwise, you're letting go. Maybe I've communicated. You're literally in there letting go. When? Always. But what if it doesn't go? Well, then you deal with it. Then you fall into it and you go through what you need to go through. And you go through different circumstances and stages. People go through everything in their life, all kinds of things. You have, haven't you? That's your evolution. It's called evolution. But what you're evolving toward is not getting what you want. What you're evolving toward is emptiness. You just let go enough in there. That's what you do. Every minute of your life, when you're a deep spiritual person, you're letting go. That's all you're doing is you're letting go. Letting go of what? Letting go of yourself, letting go of the mind, letting go of the heart, letting go of all these resistances. What you're letting go of is the tendency to resist, the tendency to hold on and cling or resist. That then stuff stays inside. Otherwise, you can grow really very beautifully and strong. And I told you what happens, and these are the deeper states. And it's like nowadays they don't teach that. Even religion doesn't teach that. They teach being good and doing this and donating or doing, which is all wonderful. It's wonderful, right? That's not spirituality. Spirituality is you have died to be reborn. You have died to be reborn. You have let go, not all at once, that happened all at once. You have let go of your inner state of mind and heart, the personal self, the ego. You let it go little by little. And I'm telling you, next thing happens, it takes time, but it happens. This Shakti flow starts flowing. For no reason. You don't know anything about it. You don't take credit for it. You don't do anything. There's just this energy flow that's always flowing up. It's never, ever changing direction. It just keeps flowing up. But if you resist, you'll feel it stop. If you resist to get what you want or resist to avoid what you don't want, it will affect that flow. But if you let go constantly, it just keeps going up and going up and going up and going up. Then what happens? It's amazing. Instead of feeding your lower self, instead of feeding your personal self, your ego, all that stuff that you use for life, right? It starts feeding your deeper inner state. The Shakti will start feeding your higher centers, higher chakras. And you feel it, and you have to decide, am I willing to give this up in order to do something lower? And you start realizing, I mean, I've been doing it, how long? 55 years? You just start seeing it's all about letting go. The entire spiritual path is about letting go of what? Yourself. But if I let go of myself, what will happen? What do you see? God will happen. Life will happen. We're talking now about the Tao. People understand the teachings of Lao Tzu in the Tao. It's like one of the great teachings of Lao Tzu that I really love is that the ocean bed is empty, isn't it? The bed of the ocean is empty. The mountaintop is way up high. When it rains, where does the water go? Into the bed, into the empty. That's like Tao's essence teaching, right? It flows right off the mountain and goes down. And if the bed was empty, in essence, the ocean is an empty bed. It just has water in it, but it's going down and always ends up what they call the low. It always ends up balanced where there's no effort. If you want to keep the water in the mountain, you better work at it. If you let it flow down, there's no effort. You're not doing anything ever. That's the Tao. So what will happen when I'm done with me? God, my Father and I are one. You literally get to true spiritual state where when you're gone, what's left is your being, the essence of your being. That is what the masters all like. I like the masters. I don't like to talk about it. I don't like to sit there and make it a goal. But there are beings who have merged. There are beings that have let go of themselves sufficiently to where they're not human anymore. That's not what's there. What's there is consciousness that's experiencing the totality of the universality. They merge with the universe. Can they come back? They do. They live the great ones like Christ and Buddha and others. They can come back and go leave and come back. They're actually simultaneously in all states at the same time. You're a very high being. So when I talk to you like this, I'm not talking about Yogananda or Christ, I'm talking about you. There's no different in you in that state. That's who you are. You are the divine consciousness focusing on your thoughts. You're the divine consciousness focusing on your thoughts, whatever they are, whatever you think's going on, good, bad, and different, but you're caught in those thoughts. That's who you say, I am this, okay? And it'll take a while to say, I'm willing to let go. I'm willing to let go. I'm just going to keep letting go. I'm not going to stop. There's no elevator level. I'm just going to keep letting go. Oh, I don't mind talking to you this way. And don't sit there and say, I'm not ready. Of course you're ready. You're literally God descended. Do you understand that? Right now, what's looking at me through your eyes is God consciousness being filtered through your mind's judgments and likes and dislikes and preferences and hopes and dreams. If you relax when the stuff comes in, always relax. Never stop. Never pick a point along the way. Just keep relaxing. You will keep growing. And it will keep getting more and more beautiful, and it will never stop. It's not like this is what I should be doing. You just keep letting go. Just keep letting go. Very good. What's the bottom line? You're a very great being. You're not some little petty human trying to be okay. You know, the divine consciousness descended, but it got caught. That's the name of the fall from the garden. It got caught in your mind. Right. Very good. I hope you understand. You see how sincere I am? You're beautiful beings. Free yourself. All right. Jagged.
You've been listening to the Michael Singer Podcast, produced by Sounds True in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information on Michael's body of work and all back episodes, please join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening. Sounds True, waking up the world.